Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu-alaikum. Ji ayanu, pakhair agale, ni hao, tunashumme, washmale. Ohio Gonzaimas, Guten Morgen, Ola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifahal. Hale Shuma Chatore, Ahlan Wasalan Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Swabia, Balli Kereya, Hoj Galdin, Anayo Sayo, Huya Mora, Adab, and thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into PTV World. You're certainly watching World this morning, alongside my very well-learned colleague who happens to be Ms. Haja Satti. I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan, and we hope and pray that everybody out there is doing wonderfully well and that you're ready to kickstart your day with us. Hello, Haja. How's been your Tuesday so far?
Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for introducing me, Shahzad. So, I mean, it's very dry today.
Really?
And there is no more rain, and there's no more prediction of having a rain anytime sooner.
True.
And it's getting very dry, and because of that, there are a lot of diseases that are going on, virals or infections that are going around. And I do feel that the infection of virals, they're getting stronger by every year.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Was it because of our unhealthy lifestyles, or maybe the smog which is so much engulfed the entire country out there, and it has been dubbed as the fifth season literally because I mean it's so blurry out there. I mean if you go out there you can't even see that. So we hope and pray that there's rain sooner so that we can have more healthier winters out there.
And,
right?
and you know, that's the exactly kind of a conversation which I was having with my mother, you know, just earlier today in the morning. And I was like, you know, it does not really feel that December cold we used to feel in Islamabad. And, you know, to be very honest, I'm just a little scared that, you know, that we might only be left with summer and autumn. And that might probably be it because of climate change. But not just that. I think having said that, obviously, you know, you go to the northern region, obviously the cold is such that you certainly cannot have that differentiation of the temperature. But over here in Islamabad, as we have been living in Islamabad, born in Islamabad, you know, we have had years where, you know, it used to, you know, drizzle quite a lot. You know, we have had years where it was too cold that it was really difficult for you to get out of your bed. You know, and, you know, just last season I was using those heavier quilts, you know, which our mothers actually get into in their dowry. And unfortunately, you know, that's a part of a culture. You're the bhari rizaiyan. That you would eventually, you know, when you wake up in the morning, you're all sweaty as well. And I certainly didn't even feel the requirement of that. And it's going to be foggy, you know, in days to come. It's going to be smoky as well. So for everybody who intends to travel, ladies and gentlemen, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in particular, let's talk about Punjab. And not just that, I think that the other parts, you know, hilly areas, they're going to be smoky and foggy too. So please make sure that if you're traveling, it's really cold, make sure that you kind of, you know, prepare yourself. These are the visuals we're sharing from Lahore. And, you know, it's just so difficult to differentiate whether it's fog or smog. But the moment you land in Lahore, you know, when you start breathing that air, which is engulfing the entire Punjab, you could actually feel it in your throat that it's not really fog. Because fog gives you happiness, but smog, I don't think what it's giving us.
Yeah, the particles that are stuck in your throat, and you can feel that it's not fog. And thank you so much.
And now even in Islamabad, I could feel it.
True. And I think we used to take a lot of pride in Islamabad, and for the matter of the fact is that it's very green and it's very clean, and we have margalas here and we have trails here. But the very mushrooming growth of the housing societies and all of those deforestation has actually led us to the place where Lahore was once.
Or probably the increase in population, I think we'll need to talk about it.
Urbanization, there are lots of problems. And one of the report that was mentioned by World Bank, and it said that now we're going to have 6 months of the summers, and this is a very prolonged period of the time, and the humidity and the heat level will far surpass the human survivability, and we can literally we felt that heat, especially in the April and especially in Ramadan, because it was so hot. It was 50 degrees temperature, and we never seen such sort of heat.
I think I'm going to go solar now because, you know, Haja has said it over here, 6 months of summer, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I won't be able to pay my electricity bill. So I think it's high time that we switch on to, you know, renewable or cleaner energy.
True. So moving on to our top stories, where a delegation of People's Party and PMLN lawmakers submitted a no confidence motion against the Chief Minister Pervez Elahi, Speaker and Deputy Speaker in Punjab Assembly. Opposition lawmakers including People's Party Parliamentary Leader Hassan Murtaza, PMLN's Khwaja Imran Nazir, Chief Whip of PMLN Tahir Khalil Sindhu and others reached Punjab Assembly Secretariat and submitted the no trust motion. It was formally received by Punjab Assembly Secretary Inayat Hussain Lal. So, I mean, there is a very hot political activity which is going inside the country, and we hope and we wish that Pakistan soon gets political stability that we all deserve.
Exactly,
Right?
and since I'm apolitical, I'm not going to comment on this anyways, but I'm going to comment on what Elon Musk actually tweeted.
True.
And I don't know how it's going to end up for him, but ladies and gentlemen, imagine, so this is what Elon Musk tweeted: should I step down as head of Twitter? I will abide by the results of this poll. And imagine the 97% of the people said, yes, you should. I think
Yeah,
you
57.
should.
It's
Yeah,
57.
It's 57.
Yeah.
So, okay, 57 means the majority actually said that you really need to step down. Why would you tweet it? You know, after spending $44 billion, why would you tweet such a thing? So, obviously, you know, I think I mean, I don't know how to put it, but listen to this. Twitter users voted decisively in a poll for Elon Musk to step down as chief executive of the social media platform, a backlash against the billionaire less than 2 months after he took over. Elon Musk launched a poll asking if he should step down as head of Twitter. Why would you do that? In his tweet, he also wrote he will abide by the results of the poll. That's something which is still up to him. But in October this year, Musk completed his $44 billion acquisition of the social media platform Twitter. Since then, Musk has fired Twitter's top management and laid off about half of its workforce, while seesawing on how much to charge for Twitter's subscription service, Twitter Blue. On Thursday, Musk also suspended the accounts of several prominent journalists over a controversy on publishing public data about the billionaire's plane. A day later, the accounts were reinstated. But imagine, I think when Twitter actually, in fact, when Elon Musk got into this deal, you know, the very agenda Elon Musk had was that I'm going to give people that freedom of speech.
True.
You know, and everybody should be able to say whatever. And the very moment people started to talk about his plane, I think those accounts...
I do think that he took the steps to, I mean, free that platform, because then he asked Donald Trump to come back. And matter of the fact is that Twitter is a very left... No, he didn't. The Trump said that thank you so much, I'm not going to come back, because he has his own website.
Yes.
But matter of the fact is that I really don't get it. Why did they ban Trump? Because in an age of a social media where you can get information from a lot of things, banning people, banning ideas is not going to work at all, because then he erected his own website and all of his followers flock to that website. So you're not actually banning the idea or banning the people out there. So you are actually giving him another platform from which he can speak out his voice, right?
Yeah. And Haja, it's not just that. I think that, you know, Elon Musk at this point of time might be a little troubled, and it's because that, you know, initially it was a publicity stunt, you know, from a viewer's perspective, that he would want to buy Twitter. And then eventually he backed off, and then Twitter called him in that, hey, you know what, now you really need to buy Twitter as well. And that's where $44 billion was spent. And I believe that, you know, when this platform might have been created, it must have been a few thousands of dollars. And imagine for a brand to kind of establish itself and then people coming in to lay off other people. I just don't like the idea. I mean, why not go with the flow?
I think a lot of people are doing, or what do you call it, they're laying their staff out, but Twitter gets a lot of publicity because of the personality of the Elon Musk. So I think enough of the Elon Musk and Twitter.
And would you pay $8 per month?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, you don't
I don't
pay
think
at all,
so
right?
that we can afford that, because we are from a poor country.
She does not even like paying at all. You know, she does not even like that.
Why should I do that? I mean, I am very...
Sometimes you feel like spending on your friends, family, you know, things like that. Yeah, I think that's great.
Why Twitter then? Friends and family does not equal Twitter.
All right, I get that point.
Okay. So moving on to another top story, which is chasing the victory target of 167 runs. England were 112 for 2 in the second innings at stumps against Pakistan on the third day of Karachi cricket test. Teenager leg spinner Rehan Ahmed finished with 5 for 48 and Jack Leach with 3 for 72 as Pakistan lost their last 7 wickets for 52 on a spin-assisted National Stadium pitch. For Pakistan, skipper Babar Azam scored 54 and Saud Shakil 53. If England win the match, it will be the first time that Pakistan will be whitewashed 3-0 on their home ground.
Exactly, and that too after 1957. So imagine, rather than creating history in a very befitting manner, ladies and gentlemen, we are creating history from topping the charts, and that too from the bottom. And we seriously need to look at it, you know, with good intent, because things have gone beyond selection and what the captain needs to do. I think we really need to talk about our domestic circle over here, whether what kind of production line do we have in process as well. And not just that, I think over here, you know, for all of these scores, Saud Shakil and Babar posted, I think that they did a great job after losing 3 early wickets in the first session of the second innings. But then I believe that the kind of, you know, so England only had to work towards our top 5 batters. You know, the rest of the 5 would actually apply a domino effect and then, you know, would go back to their dugout or to their dressing rooms as well. And we certainly need to kind of sit down and think that, that we will continue to bring people to play from shorter format to test cricket, where we have seen a lot of injuries, may it be Shaheen Shah Afridi, may it be Haris Rauf, may it be Naseem Shah. And in addition to that, I think that, there is a little slight reluctance in the players from shorter format to come and play a bigger format where you get paid less, where there's lesser viewership.
Right.
And so the players these days, I believe, are not even interested in test cricket.
So, Shahzad, today is the International Human Solidarity Day to celebrate the
Must
unity.
be about creating some fun. Really?
To celebrate the unity and diversity, remind government to respect their commitments to international agreement and raise public awareness of the importance of solidarity. So, we have seen in the recent years there's been a lot of focus on solidarity, and SDGs were crafted to come so that the government would come up with the plans in order to alleviate the poverty. And obviously, Pakistani government is doing a lot to alleviate the poverty, and in order to have a more broader conversation regarding the poverty and what is the government doing, there's an entire program out there to cater to the people, to the poor people out there. We are very lucky that we have been joined by Fazil Muhammad, who happens to be Program Director, National Poverty Graduation Program. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for coming to our show.
Thank you very much for inviting.
Thank you, sir.
So, joining Mr. Muhammad, we have Ahmad Ali Khattak. He happens to be Team Leader, Social Protection Delivery Unit at the Ministry of Poverty, Alleviation and Social Safety. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for coming to our show.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning.
Thank you, sir. First of all, sir, I think what we really need to do is, because we go out in 46 different countries, we would certainly like to talk about this program, which we are referring to as NPGP. What is this program? What does it aim to do? And where are we in terms of our achievement? Because it's all about poverty alleviation. I think 38% of our population comes into that index as well. What have we done so far, and what's the program about?
Yeah, actually, National Poverty Graduation Program is a flagship program of Ministry of Poverty Alleviation and Social Safety, where myself and Ahmad Ali Khattak sahab work. And this program is funded by International Fund for Agricultural Development.
And the government of Pakistan.
And government of Pakistan, yes. Government of Pakistan is financing the interest-free loan component. Before introducing this program, basically this program is the part of the overall poverty alleviation and social safety strategy of government of Pakistan. Okay. And the social safety strategy includes the Benazir income support program, the households who are ultra poor and very poor, whose PMT score or poverty score is 0 to 32 now as per the new survey. And these are the households who do not have land, who do not have any assets, who are just relying on the social safety support.
From the Hajar does not have any land, nothing at all. Do we come into that index as well?
Also, they do not have any employment. Okay. They do not have any livelihood sources and opportunities. Yes, alhamdulillah, we are among those blessed people. So these are 7.7 million households who are receiving this unconditional cash transfer as a consumption allowance from the government of Pakistan. Then government of Pakistan also has a part of this social safety is Nashonumo program. I think Khattak Sahab is best placed to explain that.
We'll talk about it.
So NPGP, National Poverty Graduation Program, for which I am the program director, mainly focuses on graduating these households out of poverty. And so that
in all the 4 provinces,
in 21 districts, so that they are no more reliant. They have economic self-reliance, and they are no more dependent on the social safety on consumption allowance from the government of Pakistan.
And sir, do you think that this initiative is actually going to be sustainable for the government and for all our partner organizations?
Yes, I think because the National Poverty Graduation Program, the very design of this program very much is based on the sustainability milestones.
Okay.
What is the sustainability? If a household is economically self-dependent, so I think the outcome is achieved. The outcome is to make the household have its own sustainable income stream from the given assets or the training or the interest-free loan we provide. So I think in that sense also we have community institutions, common interest groups, other I think sustainability elements we have in the program. The community resource persons, they are based in the union council at the village level, who continue to provide mentoring and capacity building support to the target households.
Okay, so Khattak Sahab, moving on to you, we have seen that the government is one entity obviously, but if you deconstruct the conceptualization of that, we will find that it's an archipelago of various institutions that are sometimes very disincentivized to work together, right? So in this program, how do you create a culture of delivery out there and make sure that there's enough incentive for all the stakeholders to work together?
Basically, for the delivery of this whole social protection program and poverty alleviation division was created
Okay.
in March 2019. And the basic aim was to bring all social protection program under one umbrella.
Right.
So now we have Pakistan Poverty Alleviation Fund, we have Benazir Income Support Program, we have Trust for Voluntary Organizations, and we have Baitul Mal.
Okay.
Now the mandate, so the basic aim was to integrate them so that we can perform better, as you said. A delivery unit was also created to implement the social protection strategy 2019 to 23 of the government of Pakistan. And now we are implementing around 290 plus programs and initiatives. The major chunk is going to Benazir Income Support Program.
Okay.
Baitul Mal is also providing different programs, and Zakat also comes under this umbrella. Now, the mandate of this social protection program is to provide food and shelter, to provide livelihoods, to invest in human capital, and to monitor and implement all these social protection strategies. So the main aim of the delivery unit, of which I am the team leader,
Right.
is to see the implementation and monitoring of all these 292 plus initiatives.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
And the target for us is to reach by June 2023 10 million people,
Wonderful.
and 10 million people also provide them health and nutrition, and 10 million people should be included financially in the system. So this is the whole umbrella under which this whole social protection program
So
is.
Khatter Sahab, with such plans, obviously it's a great initiative of the government and for the people of Pakistan, and such initiatives will always help us, to graduate from that poverty we've been living in. But I think that the concept over here, and we've been talking about it quite a lot, is that for all of those funds and zakat, spending onto people where, it's an effort of the government to bring them and, raise their standards of living. When we talk about sustainability, why can't we, use that same fund to create job opportunities for people so that it may be more sustainable, for the years to come? And then, whatever they generate, it obviously becomes a cycle where they come, give back, and then, we help other people as well. And I've seen a lot of individuals doing it. I've seen a lot of organizations doing it. So, even with Benazir Income Support Program, it's just that cash we are giving them. And, I don't know whether how much utility there is for a cash who is actually totally dependent on, whether they will get food the next day or not, whether they will have shelter or not. So why not have an economic cycle where that economic cycle generates enough funds for the betterment of other people, right after they think that they are on their feet?
Yes, this is a very good question. इसमें जो main एक element है which I missed is that we have a private sector engagement policy.
Okay.
In which we are trying to tape the resources of the private sector through their social responsibility so that they can invest, and we have taped certain institutions which are working now with Baitul Mal and helping us to lessen the burden of the government.
Okay.
You are absolutely correct that we have a total budget of 376 billion rupees, but there is a limit to this, and that is why we can cater to certain people. And you might have heard that जी मुझे cash transfer नहीं मिल रहे और इसको मिल रहे. उसकी वजह ये है कि we have a limitation of funding. Now the basic, as you rightly said, the basic aim is to create that cycle.
True.
जो हमारे social protection के लोग हैं उनको हम पॉवर्टी ग्रेजुएशन के प्रोग्राम्स में लाएं जो कि फाजिल कर रहा है. बेनज़ीर इनकम जो है वो कैश ट्रांसफ़र दे रही है. इन्हीं लोगों को हम चाह रहे हैं कि जी पॉवर्टी ग्रेजुएशन के थ्रू, आमदन के थ्रू इनको एसेट्स दें और इनको ट्रेन करें, और लेटर ऑन इनको हम फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस के साथ अटैच करें ताकि वो सेल्फ सफिशिएंट हो जाएं. दिस इज द साइकिल.
Exactly.
So we also have financial institutions for that.
Wonderful.
Which government is working upon. So the cycle is there, but we have to make our effort should be now on a much larger scale. और इसका की यही है जो आपने कहा है कि जी पॉवर्टी ग्रेजुएशन का जो प्रोग्राम है उसका कंपोनेंट बढ़ जाए और ये सोशल प्रोटेक्शन का विद टाइम phase out.
And please comment on the spatial concept of the poverty, for example, rural versus the urban divide. And we have seen that most of our rural population, they are more invested into the agriculture. And these floodings, they have, demolished a lot of fields, a lot of crops, the livestock were destroyed. And I think the government is more burdened in terms of protecting their people out there who are more vulnerable to these climate changes. How is this program catering to those populations?
I think if you allow me just to respond to your,
Sure.
add to what Khatak Sahab said and what you asked earlier. National Poverty Graduation Program, as I explained earlier, is also Government of Pakistan program, and the mandate of this, what you said, basically the main solution to graduate people out of poverty is to provide them livelihood or employment opportunity. And this is the mandate of this program. The government, and this is why the program, the Government of Pakistan International Fund for Agricultural Development is supporting it. 320,000 households have been planned initially to be graduated out of poverty, and so far we have been successful in providing support to more than 200,000 households. They received Karyana shops, they received livestock, they received even we provided hand tractors. Wow. And some of the innovative initiatives we did under this program, for instance, the digital skills, what you said, that the divide between rural and urban.
Right.
All this digital economy and the digital e-commerce is very much in the urban centers, and rural areas do not have access. So what we are doing is now we are taking this digital skills and e-commerce to the rural areas under this program. And recently we have enrolled 48 children from the very poor household, from the BIS beneficiaries, to the Institute of Business Administration, and which is a very prestigious institution. It was, I think, so this is what the government, now on the flood thing, what you have said, I think the floods have further compounded this poverty in Pakistan. If we look at the statistics, in terms of nutrition in Global Hunger Index, Pakistan is ranked 99th out of 121. So we are just at the bottom. It's not the matter of poverty alone now. We are food insecure. We are at the verge of hunger.
Multi-sectoral poverty.
Yeah, so we are at the verge of hunger. So 38.8% people are out of poverty. Now 33 million people have been affected. More than 1 million livestock, and the livestock mainly belongs to the very poor households in the mountainous areas, in the deserts, in the remote areas. So 1 million livestock perished, and then 8 million acre of crop, standard crop, have just perished, which with the financial outlay is $1.3 billion. It's a huge loss, and this loss is adding up to this 38 point. Earlier, if the 38.8 million people were multidimensionally poor, now it's going to add up. It may be 50%.
And sir, in addition to that, what I would want to talk about is, obviously we would certainly talk about the different aspects of this program.
Right.
But for example, we need to kind of come back to the grassroots level where we need to realize what are we rich in. So if we talk about our richness, obviously that was agriculture. Flood this time has had a massive impact on us, and hence we are in food insecure. And it's not just today. Even before the floods, we were food insecure as well. I think we were rich in minerals. We were not able to explore that area for Pakistan, unfortunately. But we are rich in human resource, and we see a lot of people out there who are willing to work. And we certainly cannot get them to work, or certainly cannot get other country to get them to work too as well, and utilize that human resource as an asset, as in capital. And one of that element of the project is to kind of train our assets and make sure that that we get them to where they can have a healthier life. So in terms of human resource utility, is your program conducting any of the branches out there that we can utilize that for the betterment of the people and for poverty graduation?
Exactly. I think as you indicated, we have youth bulge. More than 50% population, around 60% is now youth. And if we capacitate them, they can be asset.
True.
And if we just leave them at their own, they can be disastrous. So the program is, and in our program we have mandatory target, at least 30% youth to be provided with the employable livelihood skills training. It can be construction trade training, it can be digital skills.
We have vocational training centers as well.
Yes. So our target is to capacitate youth with the employable technical training, so that they can have jobs within their cities, or they can go abroad and they can.
And how is the response coming, for this? Do you think that people are more willing? Because over here we do get this element and sentiment as well, where people are not willing to work.
No, I think the response is good, but to be honest, when we go into the rural areas, when we offer them two menus, one is the tangible assets, the livestock or the Karyana shop, so which is touchable, which is immediately can give, so people opt for that more. But then we have community resource person, village organizations who sensitize and mobilize communities and the target youth. And then we have now through the smartphones, we tell people that through these digital skills and this social media, you can earn much more. You do not need to go out of your home and out of your city. You can earn more than 50,000 rupees per month if you have just higher secondary education and have some advanced
and even if not that, I think people, overnight who made it on TikTok and everywhere else, they have utilized that platform for their betterment.
And they have monetized that, certainly. Thank
exactly.
you so much.
And not just that, Haja, they have not even monetized. Imagine now people call them to, market their products. So imagine, I think one of those examples is Pullu, so he belongs to from a very rural area, where he certainly really did not have a roof to live under. And now, alhamdulillah, he lives a healthier life. Even his son is carrying a smartphone now.
And obviously, such kind of platforms does have given voice to a lot of voiceless people, especially who are living in the villages. So, Khattak Saab, coming back to you, let's talk about the cash transfers, because Benazir Income Support Program is also one of the integral part of that. So, why can't we institutionalize certain conditionalities, obviously with positive outlook to life? For example, family planning, for example, education, into such kind of programs. So there is a more comprehensive program out there in terms of coverage.
Or probably put up prerequisites that, okay, you will be enrolled into Benazir Income Support Program, but at least 2 of your children need to go to school, or things like that.
True.
So this is what we are doing. We have a conditional cash transfers and we have unconditional cash transfer. So unconditional cash transfer is for the women of the household, in which we support them 7,000 rupees per quarter.
Wonderful.
Per quarter.
To provide them
of the year.
Of the year. Okay. So and then we have conditional cash transfers in which we have education stipend program and Nashanoma program. So education stipend is given to the children of those mothers who are getting unconditional cash transfer, but they should, and they are now given. It was started from primary education. Now we have added secondary and high secondary into it.
Wonderful.
But the children must have 70% of the attendance to go to school. So we have a very elaborate system to monitor it, and we are expanding that further because that has been a very successful program. Nashanoma, we are providing. We know that stunting is a major problem in Pakistan. Even healthier population, if you look at them, they might look healthier, but they are stunted.
Even one of us might be stunted, sir.
So that's very true for Pakistan. So in Nashanoma, again, it is for lactating mothers and the infants, in which we provide them cash.
Right.
But at the same time, they have to take certain sachets which are rich in nutrients, so that from the start, the stunting can be taken care of.
And I was really glad, Shahzad, the matter of the fact is that Benazir Income Support Program is also transferring cash to the matrix of the family. So by giving cash to the female head of the family, one can ensure that they have a vital decision making in the families, right?
Exactly.
And this is empowering that. So how can we make sure that we further politically empower them and improve their socio-economic indicators of their lives?
There's one more thing which I would like to add over here as well, since you mentioned politically, and I was just thinking about it, so you got my words out.
Right.
And what I wanted to, because as a Pakistani, sir, we think about how our country can get better. We have had the largest number of people leaving the country, flying away, because of the conditions we have been in. And unfortunately, I think even for a middle class gentleman like me, it does get a little difficult towards the end of the month to kind of make the ends meet. Allah ka shukar, alhamdulillah, not complaining. My heart is full of gratitude. But with such programs, what we have seen is that, that we have politicized such programs. And, every time, Benazir Income Support Program is going to come in, there's one political party which you will have had registered over the years, past years as well. And there's no harm in it. And because, if it was their initiative, that's it. But don't you think that we really need to, put the political aspect of it on a very different note, rather than, people thinking that it's our vote bank, and that we're utilizing the very money of the country to kind of cater to that? Or do you think that it should all be apolitical, because these programs, does not really matter which government's in power, shall always continue?
And that's a very good question, and I would like to answer your question first. Basically, it is apolitical. We have a national socio-economic registry in which we measure the poverty and the wealth status of a family.
Okay.
And there is no political interference. So if someone below the score of 32, based on that socio-economic registry survey, they can get unconditional cash transfers.
Okay.
For others, we have other scores.
Priorities, yes.
So basically, it is end-to-end digital. There is less political interference, and we have kept it like this so that the dignity of the family is also maintained. That's a very important element.
True.
So you are right, and we are trying very hard to reach to that level so that even though there are no leakages also. Maybe you have heard certain leakages taking place when the women go to a center to get the money.
Yeah.
But we are trying our best, and hopefully with the passage of time we will be able to get
Inshallah.
this.
And you know, this is something which will actually kind of, it's a dream for me. You know, I would want Pakistan to be on this road where we do not politicize all such initiatives, because these are great initiatives. We're helping people out there.
True.
And, you know, the people will certainly speak about it, that, you know, that the kind of help the government has given them, I think eventually that vote bank will still be there. But let's not, you know, label it with any political flag or name.
So the question related to the empowerment of women,
Right.
basically you are absolutely right. The basic aim was to give them an identity card through which
Right.
they can get cash transfers. Now we have improved upon that. We want to bring now 10 million women financially included in the system. So we are opening for them bank accounts, which will enable them to get access to financial institutions,
Instruments as well.
and they can get finances for their small businesses. And the basic aim of this program is basically 50 plus women. In fact, 50 plus % women are getting this program. So whether it's unconditional, whether it's conditional cash transfer.
Wonderful.
So yes, we are trying to achieve.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So Fazil Saab, coming to you, let's talk about the spatial aspect of the poverty, and we've seen that the rural versus the urban divide in terms of poverty. So how are you constructively engaging private sector into this program? Because especially when you talk about the agriculture value chains cannot be constructed when it comes to the private investment into it, because you need private sector, the involvement into this program.
I think very relevant question. In our program, one of the component is under the asset transfer, livelihood asset transfer. One of the component is the developing the business models or village social enterprises.
Right.
And this is we have approved the concept note, and it's just I think going to be implemented soon. Under this program, what we have planned is that we'll have 200 to 300 households, the poor households. They will be the shareholder, and they will have a joint business.
Okay.
And that business will be linked with the private sector.
Wonderful.
For instance, and these will be the business value chains around the horticulture, livestock, dairy, meat, and then agriculture. So whatever the local livelihoods are, the value chain, these business models around those value chains will be developed. So far in Badin, for instance, we developed the business model, designed the business model for cheese production unit,
Right.
and we had a kind of MOU signed with the supplier, with the buyer of the cheese buyer.
Okay.
These are the options and avenues of creating partnerships between the private sectors and then the rural poor to bridge to come together.
Right.
And I think this is it which was required, you know, getting people together, because eventually when we go to rural areas, there's so many differences amongst people.
Yes.
साथ वाले के साथ लड़ाई है, उससे उसकी आंटी नहीं बात करी, you know, and it exists everywhere else. But now, sir, let's come down towards what the NPGP program was aiming for. You know, so there were 4 aims where to assist the ultra poor, you know, improving food security, nutritional status, and resilience to climate change. Where are we on 4 of these?
I think the program is in the mid of its tenure. If we look
And
at
the
it,
flood might have had a lot of negative
flood,
impact.
yeah. I think we are operational in 21 districts, and out of 21 districts, 15 were affected by the floods. So in some cases, the efforts we made, we were pushed back again. But having said that, not the bad enough, because we had a training program on the climate resilience
Right.
for the target households, and that helped them to timely evacuate and to have a kind of adaptive strategies for their protection of their livestock and their livelihoods during these floods. So we have provided livelihood assets and interest-free loan to 200,000 households, and that has we have done assessment last year, and that helped us to learn that more within the first 2 years of the program, implementation. More than 60% households have 30% reported 30% increase in income.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now we have two outcome assessments going on. One in partnership with the Pakistan Institute of Developed Economics, PIDE. They are doing a research in our program area in Punjab, and then we have another third-party firm we have hired. So they will help us to document the results against all these indicators: the climate resilience, the nutrition, the food security, and the changes in income.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And,
So-
it's wonderful to know,
Right.
Hajat, there's,
Okay.
there's just one more aspect to it which I would want to discuss as
Okay,
well.
sure.
Khatak Sahab or Fazil Sahab, whoever wants to answer. I think when we speak about the distribution of interest-free loans, what I was able to see from that briefer which was sent to us by you people was that, you know, that there's not equal distribution. It might be because of the fact that we might not have, when we speak about poverty alleviation, obviously we really need to consider those areas where it exists in maximum numbers. You know,
Right.
because when we speak about interest-free loans, sir, in Sindh it was 46,706 people, KPK 26,000 people on an average, and Punjab was 53,000. Balochistan was only 4,000 people. You know, so what's happening over here?
Yeah, I think the one reason is that the number of districts targeted in Balochistan are less.
Oh, yes.
There are 3 districts, whereas in Sindh we have 8 districts. In KP we have more districts. The other reason is this distribution of resources, the interest-free loan budget, if you are talking about that, it's based on the population proportion.
Yeah.
So which is why the Sindh has more population. At the same time, if you look at the National Nutrition Survey or any poverty survey, incidence of poverty and intensity of poverty both are much higher in Sindh as compared to Balochistan. The intensity of poverty is much more in Balochistan.
Okay.
Okay.
But in terms of population proportion, Sindh is much greater, which is why the allocation of resources in terms of budgetary
So
allocation.
according to those numbers, you know,
Yeah.
it's almost equal.
Yes.
That's what you're trying
Yes,
to
yes,
propose.
yes.
I think it's wonderful.
Okay, so moving on to Khatak Sahab, let's talk about the financial inclusion and that through digital financial structures. For example, the cards. For example, there is a Benazir Income Support Program card, and then there are other cards which government is giving out there, and they have an elaborate system out there, structure out there to cater to the poor people out there. How do you make sure that your system is leak-proof and the money is not
Flawless.
falling into the non-poor people's hands?
Yeah, that's one of the problem which are
Key
trying
challenges.
Yeah, the banks are basically responsible. We have certain banks
Okay.
which have to give money to the poor people,
Right.
and then they have certain agents.
Right.
So now we are trying to go on a RAST system, you know,
Okay.
started by
RAST
the
IDs.
RAST by the State Bank of Pakistan.
Okay.
So that a person have a bank account in any bank of Pakistan, he or she can go to any branch of a bank anywhere in Pakistan, are their agents, and they can take out their money.
Right.
Now the problem area here,
Any bank, any branch.
yes, any branch.
You know, because my mobile application kept on telling me create a Rast ID, and I was like, I don't know what to do with
yeah,
it. as
this
well.
is what you can get anywhere you go. They will not ask about your bank.
So if I
They will
have
give you
my,
the-
so if-
yeah.
for a better understanding,
You are
for
not a
people who are out
poor
there,
person,
right,
no?
for better understanding, I think because Rast ID is going to be very useful. So for example, if I have my account in Bank of Khyber,
Yes.
you know, I can go to any branch of Bank of Punjab,
Yes.
and get my money.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, that's
sorted.
it. Yes.
Wow, I think
This is what
that's a wonderful
this what
thing. I
we are
never knew
aiming
this.
at. Of course, it needs a lot of hard work.
True.
We have approved a concept note from the board of Benazir Income Support Program, and hopefully in next few years we will be able to reach that. But at the same time, there is also a system, you know, in place in which we try to catch those people who are minting money from the poor people.
Probably from the banks.
From the banks and of course the agents, you know.
Yeah.
So for that, of course, the solution is digitization and RAST.
Yeah.
True.
So we are hopefully going towards that. We started from post office. You remember at that time, post office used to deliver.
True.
So over time, we have improved over 15 years,
Alhamdulillah.
reached to this level where the leakages are less.
Yeah.
And when we reach to the ultimate level of RAST, and of course, then the leakages will be almost zero.
Inshallah. And you know, obviously this subject will be addressed as well, but you know, imagine for somebody who actually do not have a mobile application, you know, they cannot create a Rast ID, so they will go to a neighbor. If he's or she is smart enough, he will be like, अच्छा जी मैं आपको बना के देता हूँ Rast ID, अपने मोबाइल से बनाइए, जब चाहिए होंगे आ जाएंगे पैसे. I think, you know, we have this habit of creating something where something's going smooth, you know, we would certainly want to find a loophole and then create an opportunity for ourselves. That's our fault.
NADRA has a very important role in this. So we are also now working with NADRA so that a person has a unique identity and he or she has unique number, and we can trace him or her anywhere in Pakistan through one unique ID, and that we are aiming at, you know.
I think that's wonderful. And sir, you know, having said that, we actually would want to share these images as well, so you can make us better understand that, you know, is it all of those workshops which are being conducted, or was it, you know, where your team went and education?
Yeah. This is the pictorial overview of the program implementation process of National Poverty Graduation
Please
Program.
take us through.
So
I think
it includes the awareness campaigns on different thematic areas, as you said, that while on the health and nutrition, on the climate resilience.
Wonderful.
So this is also part of the program. It's not just asset transfer or interest-free loan. It also building capacity building on financial literacy and functional literacy, because most of our target poor are illiterate.
Right.
So if we are providing them asset or interest-free loan, they need to have financial literacy training to run their business, to manage the accounts.
And also there are a lot of areas, especially in Pakistan, which are extremely conservative belts, right? And it's not deemed very appropriate for women to step out from those areas. So how do you make sure that you go out to and you target that particular area, because the concept of safe spaces for women outside their house is very limited, especially in terms of
and online transfers on Rasta ID will work.
I think we have a kind of culturally customized strategies.
Wonderful.
So one jacket doesn't fit for all. For instance, Kohistan is the most conservative, I must say, Kohistan or Zob, they are the most conservative areas in Pakistan. So what we do, we have female women community resource persons.
Wonderful.
And there are areas in Kohistan where women do not get together in a community center.
Right.
So there the women, female community resource persons have to go from house to house to interact or to mobilize or sensitize women.
Right.
And also we realize that the change process is not equal for everyone.
Right.
For instance, in Sindh, it's easy to congregate women in or in Punjab even, but in Kohistan, in some of the areas of KP, it's difficult. But in DI Khan, we see that women come in burqas, they sit together.
Right.
We respect their local cultural traditions and the parda tradition, and then we pass on message. And women, because women are more receptive to women.
Right,
Also,
right.
yeah.
And sir, very quickly towards the end, there was one last thing which I read on the briefer, and that was that the end day of the National Poverty Graduation Program will be in 2023, which is just around the corner, if I'm correct. So what will happen after, you know, this program ends, and, you know, where do you think you will be leaving Pakistan in that index of poverty alleviation?
I think the very relevant question at the closing
That's
time,
what I'm known for.
because as I said, our target households are 7.7 million households.
Yes.
They are registered with the National Socio-Economic Registry. They are the one who are relying on this social safety or condition. They need to be graduated out of poverty. So the target is big, 7.77 lakh households.
Right.
So we are just targeting 320,000 households, because this is the resources we have available.
Right.
Now, I think just yesterday, our Honorable Minister for Poverty Alleviation and Social Safety, she had a very good meeting with the Country Director of International Fund for Agriculture Development and the Country Director for IFAD. He indicated that $54 million, almost 12 billion rupees, will be more additional financing. So this will help us to expand the program for another 3 years in 7 additional flood affected districts, 21 these and then 7. So then we'll be able. And then our ministers, honorable ministers, also talking to the other donors like Islamic Development Bank and others.
Right.
And I think that considering the need and the support from our donors, it will be expanded to more districts.
Wonderful. Khatak sir,
Just
you
I
wanted
would
to
like
say?
to add,
Sure, sure.
this program is now being replicated by Planning Commission of Pakistan.
Wonderful.
So 20 billion program is coming from there.
Right.
And we foresee also around 100 million euro coming from the donors in social protection. And at the same time, similar poverty graduation program are being run in other provinces of Pakistan. They are funded by IFAD and Government of Pakistan, but they are different programs. So hopefully we foresee that this would not come to an end, because this is major part of our theory of change, that we should move towards poverty graduations from cash transfers.
Exactly. And
which
no
is
matter,
ultimate aim.
and no matter which government, I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
that these programs should actually
Yeah.
continue
True.
because
Yes.
these are for the betterment of the people
I
of
think
Pakistan.
this program was started 2017.
Okay.
This NPGP, and this was started.
Alhamdulillah,
early.
this government has
So,
carried it
and this
now.
is the third.
Wonderful.
We have seen the third government
Mashallah.
during this program, and this I think we have seen 4. So I think it will go on. There is a commitment from the donors. There is a commitment from the government,
Right.
and there is commitment from.
And there is a commitment from our side as well, because, ladies and gentlemen, not many a times we have seen, the media houses or people who are responsible to make sure that the good things are brought up or, brought out to the audiences as well. Today, that was our initiative to kind of make sure that you get to know about what the Pakistani governments are doing for the poverty alleviation. And I believe that, sir, towards the end, I would certainly want to give you a compliment as well that, after a very long time, I've met people, who serve the government of Pakistan who are so vibrant, effective, and impactful as well. So the
Thank you very
credit
much.
is due.
Thank
its
you
due.
very
So
much.
thank you very much.
Thank
Please
you.
continue
Thank you
to
so
serve
much.
the nation in that befitting manner that you've been, where people are going to have a better livelihood, they'll have better nutrition, education, and that's what we want. So while staying here, ladies and gentlemen, this is something I believe is my responsibility and Haja's responsibility, and it takes that intent to change around to make sure that you're going to contribute towards the society. And since we have shared so much love with our audiences, I think we will continue to do so, inshallah, if Allah gives us the opportunity tomorrow, day after tomorrow, or for all the years to come as well. Till the next time, look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning.